Hey everyone, I'm Brittany and I like to explore the systems and tools designed for photographers and creative small business owners. I find interesting tech, investigate them a bit, and report back with the info you might be looking for in order to decide whether these services would fit your business. If that sounds helpful, I hope you'll consider subscribing to my channel. I am back in FilterPixel today looking at their AI editing, and a bit of a mood spoiler, I'm kind of underwhelmed. I tested the editing functionality in every way that I could with what was available to me. So I created my own preset, ran that preset, tried out all 7 of their built-in presets, and toggled adjustments on and off along the way. I have all the results and thoughts on the experience I had, and there's a chance that some of what I go over might not entirely be what you were hoping I would. If that happens, I encourage you to use this video as a jumping off point for your own experiments and trialing of FilterPixel. And please let me know how it goes. I'm still massively impressed by the huge update FilterPixel's launched for their UI and culling, and I've covered that major update in my last FilterPixel video, but just as a recap, stunning. I love the new updates and the organization of the entire interface. It's easy to navigate to the different parts of the system and super simple to get our bearings. To kick things off, we're going to head to our AI profile where we can start the process for training our own AI preset by uploading some Lightroom catalogs. A little bit of a bummer is that we have to request training on our AI profile once our catalogs are uploaded, which for me did take a couple of days to get back. I also tried creating another profile while I was waiting, and that one has just been sitting in request limbo for a couple of weeks at this point. There doesn't seem to be a way for me to ping a request reminder or cancel the request to remove the profile, and there's also no way for me to delete already created profiles or to continuously train them. So I'm not really sure if my profile is capable of improving on its own or not. I'm sort of just stuck with what I have at the moment. Once we do get our profile back though, we can create a project and get our images uploaded. I don't need culling, so I can skip this, but it also seemingly auto starts culling, so I do have to hit the stop button. And that's something I did a lot in my system testing. Once we're in the edit menu, we can scroll to the bottom to find our custom profile, and what I'm gonna do is run this 2 times with my personal profile. Once with the adjustments toggled on and once with them off. Side note, I'm not a fan of the chat bubble covering up the toggle buttons. I tried figuring out how to get rid of this icon, but it's just perma there. I did finagle a solution by scrolling back and forth really quickly in order to catch a glimpse of if it was switched on or off. The editing process itself is quick and exporting is straightforward. But when I ran my profile with all adjustments switched on, that's where things really started to unravel. The cropping was very funky and the colors were nowhere near my style. My edits are typically warmer with consistent cropping and deeper shadows, which is exactly the type of images I used to train my AI with. But what I got back was pretty cool toned, flat, and I cannot even begin to make sense of the crops. So what do I think happened? Well, when I compare the AI edits to my manual edits with my normal Lightroom preset applied, the basic sliders and HSLs mostly line up. But when I check the color grading and tone curve, I realized that data never made it into the training. And without it, the edits lose the warmth, depth, and overall feel I was aiming for. I even made sure to triple check that I had the tone curve toggled on for this set of images, and yep, it's definitely on, but definitely not being applied on the edits. And just to reiterate, I can't even improve this preset because the AI profile screen isn't currently equipped with improvement options. After seeing how my personal AI preset turned out, I was honestly feeling a little bit down, which is why I chose to try out the pre-built AI presets as a way to cheer myself up. All of the before and afters had such beautiful colors and depth, and that's what I was hoping to get from my images. I ran them without adjustments first, and right away 2 things stood out. None of them actually looked like their samples, and several looked suspiciously alike. A closer look confirmed those suspicions that 4 of the 7 were identical down to the last slider. In order to make sure that the identical quadruplets weren't a result of not turning the tone curve on, I tried them all again with that adjustment switched on, and while the 4 that are identical changed in appearance, they still didn't handle edits in the way their samples would suggest. Which really makes me wonder why the tone curve is even a toggleable? An adjustment that can be toggled. I can understand masking, skin smoothing, all that extra stuff being extras that the user can opt in or out of, but the tone curve greatly impacts the overall appearance of the edits, and I think it should come standard. If a preset doesn't feature any tone curve adjustments, that's for the uploading and training to parse out. But some of these built-ins, including my own custom profile, are intended to have the tone curve data included. Being able to run it without that is just kind of unnecessary. Also, it turns out the quadruplets are identical even with the tone curve on. So the reality of the 7 pre-builts is that there's really 4. Each of the 4 though are all unique in color handling and definitely still give a lot of opportunity if you aren't quite ready to build your own preset in the system. Overall, I definitely feel like the editing aspects of FilterPixel need some tightening up. The bones are mostly there for a positive creation and editing experience, but there needs to be a way to adjust or delete a custom profile once it's trained. And I also think the way the AI interprets and reapplies training data is lacking. For my profile, it ignored critical adjustments like tone curve and color grading, which define the mood and personality of my work. And I know I've already mentioned the cropping, but I'm really mystified by that. I feel like once FilterPixel gets in there with a few updates, the editing elements will be in a much stronger position. And I am looking forward to hopefully revisiting this aspect of the system in a few months and seeing some improvements. But what are your thoughts on the editing aspect of FilterPixel? Are you fine with tone curve being an optional adjustment, or is it something that is crucial to fully trained profiles? Let me know your thoughts on that or anything else I've covered in this video in the comments. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you found this video helpful or interesting, I hope you'll consider liking, subscribing, and hitting that bell to be alerted whenever I release a new video. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next one.